Social media is brain poison. That runs through my mind whenever I see one of those nicotine commercials. Yes, I know the irony in that there is a good chance you found this post on social media. I am not saying that every aspect of social media is negative. There are good things it can do for us, but my time on social media usually costs me more than it gives me. What I am getting at is that most people are unaware of how this relatively new tool affects them. T. David Gordon, in an episode of The White Horse Inn, called Distracting Ourselves to Death, pointed out that you cannot use a tool without that tool shaping you and the culture in which you live. For example, imagine a nomadic hunter-gatherer culture being introduced to good land, a shovel, and a plow. If this group of people begins to use these tools repeatedly, it will change them. The muscles used to work these tools will develop. Their backs could grow stronger, their hands could end up with new calluses, and they would begin to spend more time in one place instead of moving around. Both their bodies and values begin to change because of the new tools. Social media is a new tool, and we must be aware of how it is changing us. Changes brought on by new tools which are positive or neutral are acceptable. But if you see changes taking place that move you away from who you ought to be, it is time to either change the way you are using the tool or abandon it altogether. There have been enough studies on social media that the adverse effects are unquestionable. Prolonged use can cause anxiety, depression, unhealthy sleep patterns, negative body image, and unrealistic expectations. One of the most counterintuitive effects is loneliness. Social media is also addictive. Have you ever posted something and repeatedly checked to see how many likes and comments it gets? This is not something that has happened accidentally. It was designed to get you to do that. It is addictive, but did you know it can also diminish your ability to concentrate? When was the last time you spent 20 minutes on social media and had sustained concentrated thought on one subject? That is not how it was designed. It was designed to have your mind flit from one unimportant piece of information or entertainment to the next, rarely spending more than 10 seconds on each new thing. Doing this trains your alert attention to be at full strength, constantly looking for the next shiny object presenting itself for your consideration. All this happens without a single deliberate thought. If you do this for hours and hours, your alert attention grows stronger, but your executive attention grows weaker. Your executive attention is your ability to focus on one topic or task. Nicholas Carr, in his book, The Shallows: What the Internet is Doing to Our Brains, points out that long hours on social media, and even our constant alerts and notifications on our smartphones, program our brains to be more focused on alerts, while at the same time diminishing our ability to concentrate. If you find it more difficult to maintain deep thought on something for a sustained period, social media may be one of the reasons. The good news is that this can be reversed by changing your habits. With this understanding, it is easy to see how social media affects productivity in more ways than one. I could go on and on with examples of the adverse effects of social media, but let me end with just a few more points. Social media was supposed to help give a voice to the people, which it does to some effect, but have you noticed that we seem to have made it more of a megaphone for fools? Social media has become a bullhorn for ignorance, and it is our fault. This is how it works. Some person with crazy ideas says something ridiculous, and they hold an opposing political view to our own. To show how stupid the other side can be and lump our opponents into a nice stereotype, we share this person's stupidity with all our friends and followers to point out how wrong the other side is. Our followers, in turn, share it, and before long, this unknown person who has no grasp on reality has gone viral, and not everyone will think their idea is ill-advised. And we gave it a voice. The fact that social media can be a megaphone for ignorance is one thing, but it leads to a more significant problem because users are always hoping their next post will hit the viral jackpot. As they look around, they notice that sane and normal thinking does not gain much traction in the likes and comments department. Suppose you want your posts to rise above the noise. In that case, you will have to stoop to the level of social media, which usually involves half-truths, outrage, offensiveness, and quick demeaning comebacks for the other people on social media. I have personally given too much of my life to social media. I know you may be using these platforms for the sake of some worthy endeavor, but that can continue without spending long periods scrolling through infinite feeds. What about the fear of missing out? Well, I don't fear missing out on brain poison. Thanks for watching.